Egan. Today I'm here with another tier list. It's going to be the Undertaker's WrestleMania matches. We're going to rank them from the litter box to okay to good and eventually Hall of Fame. Undertaker's had a litany of matches at WrestleMania that are legendary and great, and some of them don't get their props, but some of them also do. So Undertaker, I think, is probably overall the greatest performer in the history of WrestleMania when you count match quality and legacy over 27 different matches at the show. So let's see where a lot of them rank. And if you disagree or you do agree, feel free to leave some comments in the comments below. So first, we're going to go in chronological order. Undertaker and Jimmy Snuka, WrestleMania 7. I'm going to put this one in the okay category because I think it really did its job at getting Undertaker ready as a permanent main event fixture. And it's not always about a five-star match. It's about what the match accomplished and what the business of the match is. And that's what this match was all about. This match got Undertaker ready. And I think it was pretty okay for the limited time they had. The same thing goes for Undertaker and Jake Roberts at WrestleMania 8. I think this match actually had a pretty good story to it. It was a darker story with Jake and Undertaker, which I love. The psychology was great in this match because I think Jake might be the best at in-ring psychology along with Bret Hart. So I really like the story of this one, and also it did what the Jimmy Snuka match did, and that's get Undertaker ready to be a permanent main event fixture in the WWE for years and years and years. So they accomplished that. Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez, it's going to go in the litter box. I hate saying it because I always try to be as complimentary as I can, but Undertaker even said that this match was a rough day at the office, so just taking it from the dead man. King Kong Bundy as well. I'm going to put that in the litter box. But also too, it kind of did its job of solidifying Undertaker as a monster babyface. So I think that was positive of it. Undertaker and Sid, Mania 13. I'm also going to put that in the litter box as well, even though the coronation of Undertaker winning the WWE Championship was great, and this was the last time he would wear his signature Undertaker Western style attire. So I think that was a cool little Easter egg, but it was more about the moment after the match than it was the actual quality of the match itself. Undertaker and Diesel / Kevin Nash. I'm going to put this in the good category because I actually think this match was quite solid. I thought it told a good story. Kevin Nash was on his way out, and he put over the Undertaker to get there. And I thought it made Undertaker look strong, actually fighting back up for one of the very first times ever. So I think the match was good. It was two big men just showcasing their skills and showcasing what they can do, and I think it turned out to be a pretty underrated match. I actually think should be talked about more. Same thing with Undertaker and Kane from WrestleMania 14. I think. I just realized too I put Sid and Undertaker backwards because Sid and Taker was Mania 13 and Taker and Diesel was Mania 12. But anyway, so Mania 14, Taker and Kane. I think this was their best match together. Taker bumped like a madman. He made Kane look like an absolute monster, and that's what the business of this match was. Even though Taker was winning the match, I think Kane got even more over in the match. So I think that was good, and it accomplished some good stuff. It made Kane a permanent main event fixture in the Attitude Era, and Undertaker got to add on to his legacy with the streak and showcased himself in a good match. Undertaker and Bossman, God rest Big Boss Man's soul, but I'm going to put this one in the litter box just because the ministry stuff to me was just so... I wasn't a big fan of it. Truthfully, I just think it was all lopsided and just wasn't too compelling for me. And this match wasn't that. It was a Hell in a Cell match in under 10 minutes and just didn't really... It was a whole lot of nothing, I think. But, and then they had the hanging thing with Bossman at the end, which was I think chilling to look back at in retrospect. But anyway, rest in peace, Big Boss Man, because he, for his size, was also one heck of a worker as well. Undertaker Triple H, Mania 17. I'm going to put this one in the good category. I think this match is amazing. It gets way too overlooked because of the other two matches, which we will get to later on. But this match was so good. And it was only put together, I think, a couple weeks before Mania 17 because I guess the company forgot to do something with both these guys for Mania 17. But you pair them together and you end up getting magic. This was their first big singles program together. And boy, did it deliver, even though Mike Chioda, I believe, had a ref bump for about 10 minutes, I would say. But actually, you know what? I think, I'm going to put this one in the Hall of Fame because I think it is so underrated. And yeah, I think I'm going to put it. I think I'm going to put it in the Hall of Fame. Undertaker and Ric Flair, WrestleMania 18. I'm going to put this one in the Hall of Fame too. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but if you go back and you rewatch this match, this was the best match of WrestleMania 18. And I know Rock and Hogan was on Mania 18, but this was the best match. And I love the story they told where Rick kind of wanted to step out of the ring and not fight Taker, but Taker was doing anything he can to get Ric Flair to come back, and he even beat up David Flair, and he just did all these dastardly things, and Ric Flair finally snapped and got back in the ring, and man, did this match deliver. I thought it was so good. And it was like a 70s NWA style brawl, something that was kind of missing from wrestling at this point. And again, the story was so good. Taker was a great bully here as a heel. Flair was fighting back from underneath as a babyface. Just, to me, really good stuff. And an underrated classic, I would say. Undertaker against Big Show and A-Train. Um, it's not because these guys are not talented. All three of them are extremely talented, great at what they do. But a handicap match is so hard to do. And I don't know. I mean, it's a really hard match to do, and these guys tried. They worked hard. I think they went about 10 minutes. But again, sometimes a stipulation will hold you back. Actually, for this WrestleMania, I probably would have done Undertaker and Chris Benoit, kind of looking back at it, because they were both SmackDown staples and not really doing a lot on this card. And I think if you could have paired them together, I think those two for 20 minutes would have one heck of a match. And that, maybe adding that match to this may have made this the greatest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 19. But that's just something for me and you as well to consider. Undertaker and Kane, WrestleMania 20. I'm not gonna put it in the litter box actually, because like the match was short, but it wasn't bad, and it accomplished getting Undertaker over again as the Dead Man. And the entrance was great. The build for this match was great. The return was great. Kane's selling and expressions were just 10 out of 10 for this. So I actually think it's pretty underrated. And again, it's about the business of the match. It's not about always 5-star matches. It's the business of what we are accomplishing going forward. And Undertaker came back as a dead man against his brother who buried him, beat him, and then moved on. And that's what it was supposed to be, and it worked. Undertaker and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 21. Instant Hall of Fame. I think this is one of the better streak matches that there's ever been. Again, the lead up for this feud, 10 out of 10. Match was amazing. Randy Orton, I think, got over in defeat. It's not always about winning a match. It's about how you get over in that match yourself. And it's not always about you getting a 1, 2, 3. And this was certainly accomplished with The Undertaker and Randy Orton. Yes, Undertaker got the win, but Randy Orton solidified himself as a permanent main eventer for the rest of his career after this match. And yeah, it was very good. That chokeslam to the RKO, 10 out of 10. Undertaker and Mark Henry, WrestleMania 22, casket match. I'm going to put it in okay. I know a lot of people would put it in the letterbox, but I'm actually going to put it in okay because they worked hard to try to make a casket match work, which isn't always the easiest. But Taker was firing on all cylinders in this match. He dove over the top of the casket, and then he tombstone Mark Henry, which was shocking, and then got the win. And it was a short match, but I think it accomplished what it needed to do, and that's why it's going to go in the okay category. WrestleMania 23, Undertaker and Batista, instant Hall of Fame. This is one of my favorite matches. Just two guys going out there and just battering each other, like Sheamus and Gunther, for example, just going out there and just throwing everything they have at each other for the biggest championship in the company, along with the WWE title. And I do think this match should have went on last at WrestleMania, by the way, that year for 23. But yeah, that Taker and Batista feud is one of my favorites of all time. Perfect way to do a babyface feud, where you're not going to have a definitive babyface and heel. Speaking of definitive babyfaces and heels, Undertaker and Edge, WrestleMania 24. Again, instant Hall of Fame. The most underrated WrestleMania main event of all time. This match was incredible. 10 out of 10 psychology. Edge was great as a heel and just as someone who was playing chess while Undertaker was playing checkers, beating him at every move up until the end. And yeah, it was just such a well-constructed match and such a great story. Also one of my favorite feuds of all time, Taker and Edge. WrestleMania 25, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. It's going to go in the litter box. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to go in the Hall of Fame. This might be the best match in the history of the company. There's not much left for me to say on it, I don't think, because, if you are a wrestling fan, you've definitely seen this match many times and still holds up and might be the best match ever. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26, instant Hall of Fame. just as good in my opinion as a WrestleMania 25 match, but doesn't get talked about as much. Usually part twos don't always get talked about as much as the original, but still amazing. Undertaker and Triple H WrestleMania 27. This is another underrated match. It's going to go in the Hall of Fame. To me, this was a classic. I really believed Undertaker was losing in this match. Just by the story that they told, Undertaker taking all the chair shots and selling, not being able to get up. Like, I wholeheartedly believed that Triple H was winning this match. And one of the greatest false finishes ever was Taker kicking out of his own tombstone at the end, because I thought for sure that was it. But one heck of a match. And speaking of a heck of a match, Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania 28, instant Hall of Fame. And I talked about false finishes a second ago. This one has the best false finish ever, with the Sweet Chin Music and Pedigree combo, trying to end the 19-0 streak and Undertaker kicking out. You can't beat that. You just can't. And the match itself was awesome. Just 30 minutes of a war inside Hell in a Cell. The two best Hell in a Cell competitors of all time, with Shawn Michaels as a special referee. The Attitude Era closing here. And you can't, I don't think you can beat that. I mean, just, this was amazing and a spectacle. Undertaker and CM Punk, WrestleMania 29. I'm going to put that in the Hall of Fame as well. I think this also should have main evented the show, and I would have done it with the title, with the 500-day title run versus the streak. One's got to give. Maybe that's where Undertaker retires, or maybe that's where Undertaker can win the title, have a small title run again, because it would be believable for Undertaker to beat CM Punk just like how The Rock did, even though a lot of people didn't want to see Cena and Rock have the championship. But anyway, this match was awesome, and again, rock solid psychology, like the Edge and Undertaker match from, I believe, 5 years prior. So Punk just had Undertaker beat at every single whim. You know, Undertaker got some offense at the beginning, but then Punk eventually started to be way more heelish and just beat Undertaker to the punch until Undertaker finally got it at the end and won the match. But incredible stuff to watch. WrestleMania 30, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. This is where the streak ended. I'm gonna put it in okay, just because the match wasn't that great, but I'm also gonna give it the benefit of the doubt because Undertaker did get injured, and they did end the streak here, which I think shocked a lot of people. If there was one guy to do it, it would have been Brock. I just don't think I would have ended the streak, because I think you still could have got a lot more value out of it for a while longer. And it's one of those things where I think you get over just by facing Taker at Mania, and I think the wins and losses are kind of secondary. And I think that was seen with guys like Randy Orton, guys like Batista, guys like Edge. The losses didn't really matter, and it wouldn't have hurt Brock here, in my opinion, because Brock was already a made man 12 years prior to this. So, but anyway, it was okay, because I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because Taker was concussed for 90% of the match. Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 31. I'm gonna put this actually in good, because I don't think this match was bad at all. I think it's overlooked. It had a pretty good story going in, even though Taker wasn't present for the build. But I thought this match was pretty underrated. I think, again, the psychology was good. Bray held his end. It was entertaining, and I think it was overlooked, especially on a really good WrestleMania. So go back and rewatch it. It's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Undertaker and Shane McMahon, Hell in a Cell. I'm going to put this one in okay, because Undertaker and Shane here, it didn't need to go 30 minutes, but it also was not a bad match. But it definitely could have been, the time could have been cut by 12 to 15 minutes, I think. But, everybody remembers it for Shane's jump off the top of the cell. But it was slow because, obviously, Taker, I believe, was like 51 here. Shane was 46, 47. So, they're, it's at the time, I think this could have even been put into the good category, but still not bad. Like a lot of people say, it's not bad. Undertaker and Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 33. Undertaker will probably even tell you himself he'll put this in the litter box, just because of his own performance. But I'm still going to give Taker the benefit of the doubt here, because his hips were really bad here, which was kind of, not just hindering him from day-to-day stuff, but hindering him from, working out and being able to do a lot of tasks. So it's unfortunate, but, it goes in the litter box. But these two would end up having a better match after, when they teamed against Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules 2019 in a really good tag match. So, but anyway, speaking of other stuff, Taker and Cena at Mania 34. I gotta put it in the litter box, and it's too bad because Undertaker looked so good here, and he looked the best he had looked in years, and it was a 2 minute match, especially with the two biggest names in the company, arguably of all time, minus like Austin, Rock, and Hogan. But man, like Taker said he was ready for a long match for this one, and like it didn't need to go half an hour or 40 minutes, but I think they could have went 15-20 minutes here, and it probably would have been pretty good. But the entrance and the return itself was pretty great, so that's a bright spot of it. And Undertaker and AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36 in a Boneyard match. It's a divisive match, but I'm gonna put it in the Hall of Fame for a few reasons. One, because I still think even in 2020 the singles match would have been good. But to think of this match on a whim is incredible. And the way that they structured it was incredible. And it was a great fight. And it's Undertaker's last ever match. And it delivered. So that's why it's going to go in the Hall of Fame. And AJ Styles was amazing in this match. Undertaker did his end. He looked good. Like it just felt like a real fight. And I liked the end, of him burying AJ Styles to win this match. Like it was like we didn't know what this match was going to be until it actually happened, and then by the end we knew what it was, and it was amazing. And the reception for it was also amazing when it happened. So goes in the Hall of Fame. So Taker had many classics at Mania, and let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want me to do any more videos on this stuff? Do you guys want any more tier rankings? Let me know. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with more. See you soon.